This is Lori Ricciardoni. Welcome. You are listening to A Taste for All Seasons. We explore the power of living alongside nature's four seasons. We offer some simple tools, reflections, seasonal recipes to inspire you to live a delicious, joyful life in and out of the kitchen. In today's episode, we are going to be talking to the founder of BellyLaughs, Mariel Bachman. She creates herbal blends that support the gut-mind connection. We hear a lot about that, right? As of late, she is here to provide us with some expertise and her personal experience on the benefits of herbs. So, if you are a curious person or interested in upping your game on your health, stay with us. Just know that you can listen to all the episodes wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, all the shows are on my website, LoriRicciardoni.com. Before I introduce Mariel, let me just tell you a little bit about her. Mariel started her holistic journey in 2017 with her Vinyasa Yoga teacher certification, followed by over 600 hours of herbalism, nutrition, and Ayurvedic medicine courses. And after experiencing her own health challenges with gut health, she spent the last 3 years formulating the 4-product line of BellyLaughs. So Mariel, thank you for coming. I know you're a busy lady. I really appreciate you coming on the show. I'm delighted to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. I love your podcast. It's truly an honor.
Oh, well, thank you. So, I know we all have our story and how we get into things. I think a lot of us in the wellness industry, if you will, do it for all kinds of reasons, but we usually have our own personal experience. So tell us what BellyLaughs' mission is. Like, what is your why? Why did you start BellyLaughs?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, like many people in the industry, I had my own kind of issues. Post-college, I was living a very stressful life. I had an unhealthy lifestyle, an unhealthy relationship with food, and I was always a happy, joyful person, and it was in these years that my mental health really declined. I was diagnosed with bipolar. I was experiencing these really drastic swings between depression and anxiety, and it just seemed a bit unlike me. It just didn't seem right. I was prescribed medications that didn't get to the root of the issue, and upon some further investigation, it turns out that I was also experiencing a lot of gut health issues. So I was diagnosed with gastritis, with ulcers, essentially just inflammation and damage to the mucous membranes of my gut lining. So I dove into some herbalism studies. There wasn't that much information at the time, so I felt the call really to find out what was happening to me, and I knew that there were so many other people like me that felt maybe a little bit unsupported and like they needed, for sure. Yeah, there's a different way to heal, really, not just mask the symptoms. So, like you mentioned, I dove into those studies. I educated myself. I took my background in yoga to keep like a grounded and kind of holistic approach to everything. And what I came out on the other side with are 2 tea blends and 2 capsule blends that are made from completely organic, sustainably sourced herbs. And I'm offering them online through BellyLaughs. The purpose of these herbs is to essentially create a more joyful life by reducing stress and inflammation and supporting the mind-gut connection.
And I have to say, I just tried one of your products, the Nourish Blend, and like everyone else, I love my caffeine, but my body doesn't really like it first thing in the morning. And I've been drinking your nourishing tea in the morning, like after my lemon water, which, you have to get into a new habit because caffeine, as we know, is addicting. Mm-hmm. And since I've been it's been maybe 2 weeks now, week and a half since I've been doing a nourishing blend in the morning before the caffeine, it's really made a big difference.
Oh, I love it.
Because my body just doesn't, it gurgles, it does all kinds of odd things that I know just because everyone's system is different also. I have a very sensitive system. Some people have cast iron bellies and they're able, or so they think.
Must be nice. Yeah, so they think.
So they think.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't necessarily make that connection. So I think it's for me, it was just a really nice way to start the day.
I love that.
So
Thank you.
how does BellyLaughs? Now, I love the name. And it makes me laugh. So how did you come up with BellyLaughs?
Yeah, so I found myself, like I mentioned, I was kind of on this path where I was like depressed, I was anxious, and I wanted to be joyful. I knew that I was a happy person, right? And after integrating these herbs into my daily routine, like you are, they really created this waterfall effect where I was able to not only have, this simple task of adding a cup of tea in the morning or having a capsule in the afternoon, but also, meditating with that cup of tea. Or maybe when I take one of the rebuild capsules, I kind of just come back to my body and ground in. So with these practices of reconnecting with myself, reconnecting with the planet through natural, just simple organic medicine, I was able to connect better with my community, right? And have these joyful connections with the people around me and myself.
It is a lifestyle. I always say that even when, you could eat, I've said this before, you could eat all the kale in the world you want to eat really healthy.
Yeah.
But if there's a disconnect or you're under a lot of stress or something, all the kale you could eat is not really going to be helpful.
Yes.
You can actually do the opposite sometimes.
Yes.
So it really is that gut-mind connection, because they talk to each other. They send signals to each other. And a lot of people aren't aware of that it really, whether the moods, the stress, depression, a lot of it starts with the digestion.
Absolutely. Yes. And I love that example, the kale example. Like, I kind of say the same thing about taking probiotics, which is great for gut health. But if if the membrane of your gastrointestinal tract is damaged or you're experiencing chronic inflammation, you're just adding kale into a system that's not gonna really benefit from it, because there's damage that has occurred that needs to be healed before you can get those benefits.
Well said. So how does BellyLaughs support that mind gut connection? What's the magic in the herbs that really benefits the body?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess first, what is the mind-gut connection, right? So it's a very complex system. It's a set of nerves and chemicals and hormones that allows for communication between the mind and the gut, of course. And one of the main facilitators of this is through the vagal nerve. So studies show that damage to the vagal nerve, for folks that have experienced damage to the vagal nerve, have a significantly higher chance of having chronic inflammatory digestive issues like IBS or Crohn's. Yes.
Makes so much sense.
So much sense. And those same people that have chronic digestive issues are also 60%, if not more likely to have also psychiatric disorders like depression, anxiety, and bipolar. So the mind-gut connection, as shown by these statistics that have been run by scientists around the world, that these two are so deeply intertwined and they cannot be healed separately. They need to be healed together.
Yeah, I've had my own experience of that, several years ago when I became gluten-free. And, you start to tolerate certain things. I noticed I had these chronic stomach aches that just became part of my reality. Until you make the commitment and the choice, okay, something's not right here. I have to do something, like having that nourishing tea in the morning before the cup of caffeine, which is very acidic, as we know. I'm not saying not to have it, have all the things that we want to have.
In moderation.
Yeah. And at the right time as well.
Right time. Yes, exactly.
I know.
So what the tea specifically, like how that is nourishing the mind-gut connection, is that I'm using herbs that, first of all, they taste great together. Like, I love to cook. I love to formulate these lovely flavors that are interesting and unique. Like fennel, yes.
Fennel in your tea, which is
Fennel's
lovely.
in there, and a little licorice in there for sweetness. Licorice also helps rebuild the mucous membrane of the gut, and is in that mucous membrane actually kind of continuing along this like mind-gut path. your microbiome is one of the main producers of serotonin.
Yeah.
Right? Serotonin is one of the main hormones that is helping your mood, the decisions you make, how you sleep, your digestion, the things you crave. So serotonin is majorly impacting your personality and your day-to-day life. So that serotonin produced by the microbiome is then stored in the gut lining. The gut lining is just like a layer of mucus and then epithelial cells. But in my case, in many people's cases, like leaky gut, for example, there's damage to
So
them
common these days.
so common, yeah. Basically, pathogens that you're eating or absorbing are coming in, and this mucous membrane is supposed to protect you from these unwanted pathogens. But because there's damage, either you're dehydrated, you're eating a diet with a lot of pesticides, a lot of processed foods, overly acidic diet, too much coffee, too much alcohol, whatever it might be, these pathogens then enter through your now permeable gut lining, and that causes inflammation chronically throughout the entire body.
Including the brain.
Including the brain.
Which then, in turn, our mood, depression, stress, anxiety, all of those. It's so easy not to make those connections. How long did it take you, like with your journey from, being diagnosed with all of those bipolar and, we're not even going to go there. How long did it take you to really heal the body? I mean, I know it's, we're doing it for the rest of our lives. It's a journey.
Yes.
There's nowhere to get, right? And it evolves and changes.
Yes.
So once you started taking certain herbs and formulating your supplements and things of that nature, how long would you say it took you, just to give listeners a sense of, and of course for everyone it's different.
Yes, definitely. Patience was the name of the game. It took about a year and a half maybe. And there are still times that, I can't eat like a super spicy hot meal, and that is just a lifestyle change that I've just had to learn to accept. But I am, reintegrating things that I had to stop drinking caffeine, completely stop drinking alcohol, completely stop eating so many different things.
For a while,
for like maybe 6 months.
To do a reset.
To do a reset.
Yeah.
And then swapping those things out with like more nourishing, grounding foods and integrating the herbs into my daily routine were so impactful. I want to say it was maybe at the year mark when I had finished the formulation for Rebuild. I took Rebuild for like 2 months or so, and it was after that I was like, wow, I can eat what I want now without having this fear of, experiencing pain and inflammation.
Correct. We can reset the body, right, where it makes it more tolerable. I think I'm just using the nourishing tea blend. Like I could have my cup of caffeine after that. I wait a little while, and it just makes it more conducive in the body.
Definitely.
To have it.
Mm-hmm.
So who is BellyLaughs for? Like, who would you say, we could all benefit, I think, from having, certain herbs and supplements in our diet.
Definitely.
Who is BellyLaughs for, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. So I'd say it's for people that they live potentially like they're living in today's modern world, right? And today's modern world it's beautiful and it's wonderful, but it can be really overwhelming.
And stressful.
Exactly. And it's
real life.
Yeah, it's just real life. And it's, people who want to feel more connected to themselves and with nature and know that maybe they could feel better than they are every day. Maybe they want to integrate new, healthier habits. And, BellyLaughs is for the people that can use this as a jumping off point to maybe leading a lifestyle that helps them feel better and feel more joyful and happy and connected. Yeah.
That's the ideal, right?
Definitely.
With the Rebuild, are those capsules you take them daily? Tell us a little bit about that and how you take it, how long one should take it. Is it different for everyone, or is there did you put a formula together, take it for this amount of time? And
so all of the ingredients are formulated so they're good and they're safe to take over the long term. The dosing isn't high enough to make any of the ingredients unsafe for Nourish and Rebuild. So for rebuild, I take like 2 a day. Yeah, I think that's like a sweet spot for me. You could take 3, you could take 1, but I'd say 2 is a sweet spot. But it has like adaptogenic mushrooms like chaga, lion's mane. Chaga is incredible at reducing inflammation of the gastric, of the gastric, the gastrointestinal tract, and then lion's mane is just an absolute powerhouse. It increases cognitive function. It helps heal the, gastric permeability of the mucous membrane. There's also marshmallow root, which is very soothing for the gut lining.
Yes.
So, like I mentioned, it's supporting cognitive health and
that mind
physical
connection.
Yes,
and I've had
of the stomach and the intestines.
I've had my own experience with lion's mane and the other mushrooms too, where I didn't take it because I put that in my smoothie, or I just put it in a little water every day, and I didn't take it for about a week or maybe even more, and I noticed a big difference. And that's when you can tell also about things if they're working or not when you're not taking them, not necessarily when you're taking them.
Absolutely.
Right? It's kind of counterintuitive in a way, but it's really, okay, I haven't taken this and I'm feeling a little off.
Definitely.
Do you think it's good to take a little break with the herbs, your products, or is that just something that people should incorporate in their daily lives, like a multivitamin of sorts?
Well, I feel like if you're experiencing some sort of diagnosed inflammatory condition, it would be helpful to take it every day. If this is something that, maybe you get tummy aches after eating certain meals, or you're going through a particularly stressful point in your life, maybe after a big meal you can have Nourish, or maybe if you know that you're going to be, really slammed with work for a couple months, you start taking Rebuild. But it's really depending on your needs. So kind of the same thing with Nourish. Like I was taking Nourish every day for 2 years because that was the first one that I formulated, and then I kept on tweaking. And then there kind of came a point when I was like, I don't really feel like I need to take this every single day.
Yes.
And now when I do take it, I feel it immediately. I'm like, wow, my stomach is calm, my mind is soothed. Like it just feels so nourishing, for lack of better words.
And along with you do meditation. I know you had mentioned that, and your breath work. And so those elements I think are really important to incorporate as well.
Definitely.
Right? It's like you can be, eating something very healthy, but if your lifestyle is just constantly promoting stress, you're not going to feel great.
So true. I would love to somehow incorporate some of these like lifestyle practices into the BellyLaughs brand as I grow. Maybe that'll be, this year somehow incorporating some meditative practices. But I really want it to be accessible for all people. Like I don't want anyone to feel scared off by, things that they might think are really difficult. Like I said, I feel like it's a great starting point to these lifestyle changes, and
The 4 products that you have.
the 4 products, exactly.
Would you recommend that someone take all of them? The tea, of course, is a separate entity from Rebuild, but would you suggest all 4 products to people, or can they just start with one? And if they could start with one, which one would that be? Would you recommend?
Yeah, so 2 of the products are Flare Care and Protect. Those 2 are a little bit more specific.
Say that again?
Flare Care and Protect.
Okay.
So those are a little bit more specific towards somebody that has gastritis or has an impulse or has a diagnosed inflammatory condition. So what I'm focusing on right now, and what I think that all people should incorporate, is Nourish and Rebuild. And I actually package those together for some savings on the website. And I would recommend, like, if you're not sure where to start there and just take the 2 for a month or 2 and see how you feel. And I mean, I've been getting great feedback, getting great reviews. So I'm happy that it's working for everybody. I mean, science doesn't lie, the research doesn't lie, but seeing it take place right in front of my eyes is so rewarding.
Of course, and you're all smiles right now, and I can feel the passion behind it. Also, I go back to, as a health coach, that bioindividuality, because sometimes an ingredient that's favorable for me cannot be favorable for someone else, even if it's beneficial. Right? So you have to kind of experiment a little bit.
Definitely.
And just really, that's where it comes into tuning into the body, really listening to what your body's telling you, which in this modern world, it's really hard to do, right? We're constantly doing and going.
Yes. And that's actually one of the things, is bringing it down and grounding and calming and soothing your nervous system and digestive system, because like we said, they're very connected. And all the ingredients that I've selected, they're non-stimulating, right? So they're not gonna give you that boost of energy to get you going in the morning. That's not what it's about.
Boost of energy.
Yeah, like a false boost of, we're already go so much. I think that what a lot of us struggle with is just coming back into ourselves in a way that feels really like nourishing and pleasant and happy and soothing. So yeah, all the ingredients they're very grounding.
And it doesn't take much. For example, before we started this podcast, you and I both took a couple of breaths. We did like one moment of breath work.
Yes.
And it actually changed the energy completely in the room. You both felt it.
Yeah, even mentioning it, I like feel it.
It's like, okay, I could just relax and calm down. So we can do these throughout the day, right? Just these moments of take a breath. I mean, we all know breath work is beneficial, but are we actually doing it?
Are we doing it?
Or we know, going back to that, I'm wanting to have my caffeine in the morning. And not that I need it. We've just slept for 7, 8, 7, 9 hours. We should not need caffeine in the morning after we just had hopefully a restful sleep.
Restful sleep, yeah.
I like the nourishing too in the evening.
Yeah.
Just when you're kind of winding down and have a cup of that has been really, really nice.
I like to hear that.
Is there anything else you want our listeners to know or about the products? Are you working on something? So you have 4 products right now, right?
Yeah.
And are you just taking a moment and letting that stick, as this is a new business for you, which is wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On that, and it takes a lot. And also you're doing the graphics, like your website, that's all you. Mm-hmm. So I was very impressed with that. And I know what that takes to do that. So, kudos to you.
Thank you.
So we're going to start wrapping it up a little bit. So is there anything, and also let people know where they could find you, the name of your website, and how they could order products, and anything that you want to share before
Definitely.
we sign off.
BellyLaughs, I just want the world to be a happier and more grounded place for everybody. So if you're feeling called, or you're feeling like you could feel better, or you want better digestion, it's worth a shot, right? I would love to connect with anybody who wants to feel more connected with the planet and with themselves. As far as purchasing, my website is belly-laugh.com. So the
hyphen's important.
The hyphen is important
to find you.
Yes. So belly-laugh.com, and you'll find all of the products there. I'm now offering the Nourish as a bulk order as well, so you can get a pound of Nourish if you want. Some of the local businesses here in Asheville are purchasing and serving them, which is extremely exciting.
Beautiful.
You can find me on Instagram at _BellyLaugh, one word. I have a
ship all over the United States.
Ship all over the United States, and I can do shipping to Mexico and Canada. It's going to cost shipping fees, but it is possible.
Shipping is big business. I'm always surprised how much shipping is, but that's the world we live in.
Yeah, so those 4 right now, and then I'm working on one more product, and it should be launching about mid-spring. So that'll be, all about mood support and supporting digestion, and that'll be, probably in the next few months I'm going to drop the new product, which is cool.
And so that's the operative word. I mean, we all need support in our life, right? No matter who we are, what we do, we need support. We're not meant to do things alone.
Yes.
So whether it's the people in our lives, the herbs that we take, just all the teas and tinctures that make us feel good.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, everyone has to kind of decide for themselves, right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much for what you do. I'm very excited to continue to try your products. I've only had the opportunity to try that one, and just lovely for you coming on to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Lori. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, good. So Mariel Bachman, absolutely a delight. And I would like to just always say a thank you to everyone for taking the time to listen. And I do hope and I trust that you walked away with a couple of nuggets of inspiration. And if you did, we would love to hear from you. You could leave a comment or a review on Apple Podcast. I so appreciate you spreading the love. And one aside, because I always like to talk about food, there is a savory lentil loaf that's made from scratch on my website, lauriewurchidoni.com. It's high in protein. It's really yummy, absolutely satisfying, and easy to make. So again, you can find all the recipes, lauriewurchidoni.com, for tips and just our seasonal news. So do check that out. I'd like to leave you with a final thought. Food for thought. Is your gut a second brain? Well, emerging research is showing that our brains and our gastrointestinal systems are more connected than we previously thought, potentially holding profound influence over our moods and sense of well-being. What we put in our bodies and when we feed our bodies will determine how we move through our days. So eat well, my friends. Until next time, bon appetito.